The third wave of feminism began in the early 1990s as a powerful response to the gaps and silences of the previous feminist movements. While the first wave fought for suffrage and the second wave focused on workplace rights, reproductive freedom, and legal equality, both often center the experiences of white, middle-class, cisgender, heterosexual women. The third wave arose from the realization that this version of feminism did not represent everyone. As its foundation, the third wave insisted on recognizing difference. It brought the concept of intersectionality into mainstream feminist discourse. Coined by legal scholar Kimberlé Crenshaw, intersectionality refers to how various forms of oppression such as caste, class, race, sexuality, gender identity, religion, and ability interact and compound in people's lives. For example, the experiences of a Dalit woman in India or a black lesbian in the United States cannot be fully understood by looking at gender alone. The third wave made it clear that feminism must be inclusive of all identities and lived experiences. This wave also challenged the idea of a universal womanhood. It questioned the assumption that all women have the same interests or needs. Third wave feminists argued that experiences of gender are deeply shaped by cultural, social, and political contexts and therefore cannot be generalized. They also questioned binary thinking, rejecting rigid distinctions between man and woman, masculine and feminine, and even victim and agent. Theorists such as Judith Butler played a major role during this period, especially with her work on gender performativity. Butler argued that gender is not an innate quality but something that is performed repeatedly according to societal expectations. This idea opened the door for greater inclusion of trans and non-binary individuals in feminist spaces, while also disrupting dominant understandings of femininity and masculinity. Culturally, the third wave was bold, creative, and often subversive. Movements such as Riot Girl in United States blended punk music with feminist politics, creating zines, lyrics, and spaces for young women to express anger, sexuality, and resistance. Feminists of this wave often use pop culture, art, humor, and irony to critique dominant narratives. They reclaim traditionally feminine aesthetics like lipstick, high heels, and pink as tools of empowerment, resisting the second wave's rejection of femininity as a symbol of patriarchal control. Sexual autonomy and bodily agency became central themes during this time. Third wave feminists highlighted the right of individuals to express their sexuality freely without being judged or shamed. There was a strong emphasis on reproductive justice, sex positivity, and fighting the stigma around female pleasure and desire. These ideas pushed feminist conversations beyond basic rights and into the realm of personal choice and identity politics. A defining movement for this wave came in 1992, when writer and activist Rebecca Walker responded to the Clarence Thomas Anita Hill hearings in the United States with her now famous declaration, "I'm not a post-feminist feminist, I'm the third wave." This marked a generational shift in feminist organizing, calling attention to the urgent need to challenge systematic injustices that continue to harm marginalized women. However, the third wave was not without its limitations. Critics argued that it was often too individualistic, fragmented, and heavily focused on identity and personal expression at the expense of building collective political power. Others felt it did not go far enough in addressing economic inequality or global feminist solidarities. Nevertheless, its contribution laid the foundation for the digital activism, anti-carceral politics, and global intersectional feminism that define the fourth wave today. In many ways, the third wave forced feminism to confront its own exclusions. It asked hard questions, embraced complexity, and expanded the boundaries of what feminism could be. It reminded us that the fight for gender justice must also be a fight against all systems of domination, including caste, capitalism, colonialism, and heteronormativity. Feminism cannot be static. It must grow, transform, and respond to the world around it. The third wave is a reminder that feminism is not a finished project, but a living, evolving movement, and one that must belong to everyone.